Long 1 2 2 2.
Watch ABC 6 News first at 4th immediately after Hot Bench. Right now at 4 o'clock, the father of the 7-year-old girl shot to death in Providence faces a judge charged with child endangerment. What we learned in the courtroom about his lengthy criminal past. Plus, police are investigating after early morning violence in a Taunton neighborhood. Where police stand as they investigate a teen's murder today. And there is no end in sight for drivers who use the Washington Bridge. How the governor is responding after demo work had to abruptly be stopped. ABC 6 News First at 4 starts right now.
This is Southern New England's trusted news source, ABC 6 News First at 4.
Our top story right now at 4 o'clock. A teenager was shot to death inside of a mobile home in Taunton this morning. Thanks for joining us at 4. I'm Tiffany Murphy. According to the Bristol County DA's office, that shooting happened just after midnight on Lothrop Street. 17-year-old Carmody Cole of Brockton was pronounced dead at the scene. An 18-year-old Massachusetts man was also shot during the incident. Police say he drove himself to the hospital. He's expected to be okay. Police continue to investigate. An ABC 6 News follow-up at 4. The father of that 7-year-old girl who was senselessly shot and killed in Providence last month was arraigned today. He's facing charges connected to her death. Here's ABC 6 News reporter Josh Kerman.
Nelson Pyers was arraigned in Providence District Court Thursday morning on 2 counts of child endangerment and new facts detailing what led to Niall's death and the role her father played in her passing. During Thursday's arraignment, officers reading the facts of the case explaining this conflict started well before any bullets were fired.
The defendant, Nelson Pyers, on August 29th of 2024, in the early evening hours, encountered another individual, Shaheem Nathaniel, at a 7-Eleven store in the city of Providence, that there was some verbal exchange that occurred in that store while Mr. Pyers was accompanied by his 2 young children.
Pyers was arrested Wednesday afternoon by Providence police. Chief Oscar Perez saying Pyers' actions went beyond poor judgment, and officers at Thursday's arraignment claiming he actively put his children in harm's way.
The allegation is that Mr. Pyers followed that vehicle in his own vehicle and on at least 2 occasions actually bumped into the bumper of the vehicle where Mr. Nathaniel was a passenger. When they arrived at Florence Street, the Nathaniel vehicle pulled over to park in front of a home where he was and the other occupants were heading to a party. At that point in time, this defendant drove his vehicle at the 2 of the passengers in that vehicle.
Officers saying Pyers attempted to drive up on the grass towards Shaheem Nathaniel and Amani Cabrera, the 2 men currently facing murder charges in Niall's death.
He then began to back up, and as he backed up, the 2 individuals, Mr. Nathaniel and Mr. Cabrera, opened fire, and one of those shots unfortunately struck the defendant's young daughter and eventually led to her death. And also in the car at that time, Judge, the grounds for the second count was the defendant's even younger son.
Since those are felony charges, no plea can be entered in district court, and Pyers is being held on $50,000 as surety due to his extensive criminal history. Josh Kerman, ABC 6 News.
Pyers will be returning to court for his probation violation on September 26th. His next hearing on the child endangerment charge will be held January 2nd. Other local stories we are tracking for you on this Thursday afternoon. Rhode Island health and environmental officials say they've confirmed another human case of West Nile virus, as well as another probable case. Both patients are said to be in their 70s. They both live in Providence County. This comes on top of human cases of West Nile and Triple E that were announced last week. The DEM also says a mosquito caught in Westerly tested positive for Triple E. According to officials, Rhode Island remains at a high risk for mosquito-borne illnesses. Sentencing day for a repeat offender in Massachusetts. According to Bristol County DA's office, in 2021, 54-year-old David Puccio was shopping at Raymore and Flanagan's in North Attleboro when he assaulted a female employee. That woman told police Puccio inappropriately grabbed her without her consent. He will serve 4 years in prison after he finishes up a 5-year sentence he started in 2022 for violating probation connected to a similar incident involving a child. Also in Massachusetts, 2 correction officers stabbed during an incident at a maximum security prison. Officials say 3 other officers were injured while trying to stop the assault by inmates last night. All 5 were taken to the hospital. No word on how serious the injuries are. The Correction Officers Union says the incident was preventable, adding this isn't the first attack on guards at the prison. State police are now helping with that investigation. We heard from Governor Dan McKee today. For the first time since the AG announced the demolition of the westbound side of the Washington Bridge is now on hold. The state is citing the need to preserve evidence of its failure. RIDOT already started that demo work just over a week ago, and there were plans to temporarily shut down Waterfront Drive in East Providence. However, that's off for now. Here's the governor's take.
Governor, why did RIDOT start the demolition work before getting the evidence they needed?
No, they brought it to a point where now the legal team stepped in and made that request. So that request was not made by the legal team as when we started the demolition, and they feel as though that at this point in time was the time that they called us.
The governor adding that some work on the on-ramps can continue because it doesn't interfere with what the legal team is collecting, the evidence there. There's no date, by the way,